Hey everybody, welcome back. It's me, lukemick here, and this is my review for The Wolf of Wall Street. So The Wolf of Wall Street is Martin Scorsese's new movie starring Leonardo DiCaprio and Jonah Hill along with Matthew McConaughey, but not really. And this movie is obviously very well known for being a big, loud, fun time if you have a sense of humor. So, basically this movie is about stockbroker Jordan Belfort or Belfont, Leonardo DiCaprio. And the movie is basically about this sort of his rise to the top. He was a nice guy. He just wanted to, be a stockbroker. He lost his job early on in his career. He couldn't really find anything to do. He turned nothing into something huge. He got his whole crew together. They got a lot of money, and basically for the 3 hours of this movie, it's just them partying and just sort of the story, the chronological story of what's happening and what finally led to his downfall. I mean, that shouldn't spoil anything. It should be obvious. But this movie is a hell of a ride. Now, I really like the story. The whole time, I was just so entertained by it. I mean, it is a 3 hour long movie, but there's always something happening. I mean, this movie has so much energy. It never loses momentum. A lot of it is repetitive, but it's always just so rich and entertaining. I mean, the dialogue is just fantastic. It's like on the level of Tarantino dialogue. I mean, the scene with Matthew McConaughey, he was just great in the movie. I mean, it's just a hilarious movie if you have a sense of humor. Like, I was laughing quite a bit. Me and my friends were having a hell of a time with this movie. It was just so funny, but then it was also scary at the same time and sort of dramatic too, because it plays as a dark comedy, and I gotta say, it really works, because The Wolf of Wall Street is hilarious. Now, Leonardo DiCaprio in this movie, my God, does he deserve an Oscar? I mean, there are probably times where he's had better performances, but I really hope that this is finally the one where he can just win his Oscar, because I think it's just ridiculous that he has not won an Oscar, because everybody knows it. He's one of the most talented people working in Hollywood today, and I just think it's stupid that he does not have an Oscar, and I think he definitely deserves it for this role as Jordan Belfort, whatever his name is, because he was hilarious in this movie, and he really got into the role. I mean, he just had so much energy built up inside of him, and the same thing for Jonah Hill. I mean, I love Jonah Hill. I liked him, and this is the end. Obviously, Superbad's one of his biggest roles, and he's trying to make the transition into more serious roles, but he still keeps the comedy in this movie for sure. I mean, his character was one of the funniest in the whole movie, and I think that Jonah Hill is really making a great career choice and making a great transition into bigger and better things. I mean, yeah, This Is the End is awesome, but it doesn't really hit a wide audience like The Wolf of Wall Street does. I mean, Jonah Hill's doing a great job over there, and he was just hilarious in this movie. Could he get nominated for Best Supporting Actor? I don't know if the Academy will look at him that way. I definitely would, because it's one of the best performances I've seen all year. Definitely the best one I've ever seen from him. Now, other people are in this movie. I can't even think about anyone else. I mean, obviously Matthew McConaughey, he's in it for a little bit, and he's just fantastic. I mean, this is like the year of McConaughey. You got Mud, you have Dallas Buyers Club, you have his part in The Wolf of Wall Street. I mean, this guy's just on a hot streak. So, the movie's hilarious. I mean, it's 3 hours long, there's always something happening, there's always something nice to look at, and that is all thanks to Martin Scorsese, one of the greatest directors of all time. I mean, there's so much scenery in this movie, it looks just beautiful, and he just uses the camera perfectly. It's paced well, even though it is 3 hours long, and you can feel the 3 hours, you're there for 3 hours by the end of it all, especially, but I think it's just totally worth it, because there is always something happening. I don't know how they did it, but they were able to cram everything together so perfectly. I mean, I was thinking about it in the theater, I was like, my God, they must have had a ton of footage for this movie. I would hate to have to edit all these scenes and fit it together perfectly to make, a good movie, a movie that works, a movie that people can watch and understand. I mean, I'm sure they had so much footage. It must have taken just hours and hours and days to edit and finally get this movie off, and they got it off perfectly. I mean, it was hilarious, directed flawlessly by Scorsese, very well acted, just funny as hell, it was just so entertaining. So props to everybody involved in this movie, because they just did an amazing job putting out a 3 hour movie, and I'm not a big fan of long movies, and making it just so full of energy and such a fun ride throughout the whole entire thing. So guys, that's my review for The Wolf of Wall Street. If you can't tell, I would definitely recommend it. I mean, it can be vulgar. If you don't like that, then that's too bad. Then I guess don't see it. You're missing out. But yeah, this is definitely one of my favorite films of 2013. I'm gonna give it 5 out of 5 stars. It's truly amazing. I don't know why some people are not liking it. And you know what's really unfortunate is that this is a little thing that's kind of been going around, and I really don't know a lot about it. But I guess one of the Academy members or something badmouthed Scorsese like in front of him, like he said some like this is vile garbage or something like that. And that's really unfortunate because this movie is very good. It's very deserving in an Oscar. It's very deserving for an Oscar. I mean, there was definitely just a lot of time and effort put into this movie. I mean, you're dealing with a ton of people in each scene. And I just am thinking, you know, this must have been such a hard movie to make, possibly, but I don't know much about filmmaking. But, anyways, that's my review. I loved it. I hope you guys love it as well. This is lukemick signing off. Please subscribe, and I will talk to you later.